Well, I had to make sure it was working. It keeps not doing it the right way, and I don't know why. But I think we got to figure it out.
It sounds like you're balancing a lot, but you're finding your way through it. Once everything's settled and you're ready, you'll pick up right where you left off. If you need a moment, take it. And when you come back, we'll keep things moving step by step.
That's my GPT talking to me. Thanks. I didn't know it was recording. That was funny. You scared the crap out of me. Oh, that was funny.
Mama, I thought you were now loved me.
What do you mean?
I'm your baby. Mom, say cuss you are.
Of course you are. Okay, now, hold on, I gotta mute this. Mute. Is it going? Yeah, okay. So, why is that? Sorry, oh no, we don't want to report it. What the fuck? Whatever, I created two, I guess. Okay, well, we work with what we got. Hi guys, good morning. Sorry. Just getting organized, trying to figure it out. And apparently it made 2 streams, but I don't know how or what I did. So, welcome in, welcome in. I'm going to take my time and give it a few minutes. That way people get a chance to come in, pop in, say hi. And I've been learning some new learning curves, which is kind of cool. I was cross-eyed for a little minute, but I think I almost got it figured out, and it was definitely beneficial. So I had to post short. Simone, hello, how are you? How come you're not a mod here? There we go. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm slowly getting my crap together. I've been busy learning all the learning curves. I created 5 workshops in the time I've been gone, but they're awesome. They're aligned and they're right with what I'm teaching. So hopefully they'll be coming out soon. I'm just figuring out how I want to present them in the best way. But I'm receiving. Oh, how is your little one? I'm still waiting for mine for actual diagnosis, but we are learning a lot as we go, and she has an appointment this Friday, so I'm really hoping that we're getting on the pathway to getting some clarity, because that would be nice. Are you blowing bubbles? Just don't make a mess, okay? I hope you're doing really well.
Mama.
I'm a little sore still because we were out playing in the garden. Yeah, that weight is torture. Like, it is, because it's trial and error till then. And, my biggest struggle was in the school. They were like, because she's high energy too, right? So they're like, they just kind of were like, there's no autism there. It's just high energy. But the behaviors, there definitely is. Grant, good morning. How are you? Oh, it's probably good afternoon there. It's morning still here, barely. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we were telling, I was telling the doctor, like, we really need to get some assessments. And the school was like, well, we can just medicate her and put her on ADD meds. And I'm like, that is the absolute last option that you're never going to get my, to each their own, but you're never going to get me to just say okay, because I don't believe that'll be a true diagnosis. If the only way that she gets a diagnosis like that is if I agree to medicate her, then I don't believe it's a true diagnosis. That's my opinion, right? But that is a struggle. I hope you're doing well, Grant. Thanks for showing up. This is going to be episode 4, and I tried to do it from my computer last time, and I found that I was always looking over there, and I'm not sure if it's any better, but I have my notes printed out for me. And the reason I do that is because I tend to really go way off. I can go way off the rails, side conversations, and I love visiting with people, but I want to make sure I'm getting the information out. And I just got done a workshop today through my program, Community Futures, and it's really, really helpful. They helped me learn the business foundations, to actually get my business up and running, which was super awesome. And in doing that, I love to take advantage of the courses that they have, because the more we're learning, the better we can possibly be. And the thing that I've actually learned is the more you learn, the more you can apply in different areas. Like some of these workshops, you're like, that makes no sense to me. But then you come to something in your life and you're like, oh, I see it now. And it makes it a lot easier to flow through. And that's kind of exactly what I've been teaching for so long. And if I can learn to get rid of the ums and ahs, it's because my brain goes so much faster than my mouth sometimes. But I'm working on it, so we all work on it together. It's good practice. But if you have been to any of my other, I listed them as courses, and the reason I did is because there's a lot of learning in them, and I'm learning to break it down. That was the other thing, the small, like 10-minute structures that are, was glad to meet you in a live. Yeah, it was for JC, Calamity Jane, wasn't it, for on Sunday? Which would have been yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was. Which was a fantastic interview. I never miss a Sunday, no matter what I got going on. I believe that Goga's purpose is to highlight, and there's many more of us. Simone and her beautiful interviews. The problem is I can't get everybody's time to align. Sunday is the one I've been able to get locked in. Simone, I've got to get to another one of yours because it was beautiful, and that's one of the ones that helped me align with so many others. So, yes, with Goga, that's what I thought. The way God works just blows my mind sometimes. When I started, I had no idea where this was going. I just knew I wanted to teach what I've learned because I had to do it the messy way. I had to do it the gross way. And to be honest, there is no clean way to do it. It's always going to be messy. But having a little bit of direction and some little tools makes it a little less messy. And I know that if I had had that on my journey, it might have been a lot less traumatic, so to say. So when I teach what I teach, I promise I'm teaching it from the heart. I can't give you all the answers, but what I can give you is some tools that most of you already have. You already know they're there. You already kind of use them, but what I want you to do is notice them, celebrate them, strengthen them, so that when you realize I don't need to just use that tool for this, I can use it for this and this and this and this, and it makes things so much easier. So I have a non-verbal autistic 11-year-old. Oh my Lord. I bet she's sweet as pie. My daughter is 7. She's very, very high energy, but I don't know if you've heard of PAD. I don't have the exact description with me, but because she's very, very high energy, I'm telling you, open to close. She's sitting down now, and I'm kind of like, I don't, she comes and goes, and it takes a lot of patience. But learning the pathway, um, a lot of it, she is like, it's this defiance. If you don't make it fun or a game for her to do it, and then you only get her focused for like 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes if you get a really, really good go at it. And I had to learn to take the activities and go, go, go. But if you don't make it fun or a game, and that's actually a part of autism, it's the which I didn't know it was on the spectrum. So, and that doesn't mean she's diagnosed that, but it is a pathway. And it seems that the things that we're starting to do, when we break them down to the very smallest level and keep it as simple as can be, and really, really make and even the reward, like you can't celebrate too much. You got to be like, high five, way to go, and move it on. Because if you continue with the, what do you call that, like the big celebration of it, it goes into full sabotage, so it's a struggle. It is. Destiny Joy. Oh, I love that. My oldest daughter's name is Seneca Onyx. Beautiful girl. She's so smart. And my youngest is Grace. Yeah, I love that name so much. Destiny's a beautiful name. That's part of my channel's purpose. I'm going to have to make sure. I am following you, I think. I gotta be. How do I find out? Sorry, I'm kind of going out. See, this is how fast I go off topic. But I want to make sure. Because I was sure I was following. I'm not. What? I am now. Awesome. That is actually really fantastic because, I find there's so many parents out here that deal with the same struggles. And even if we don't all have a doctor diagnosis or all the things along the way, what we do have is people that have learned and have practiced and things. And I love that so much. I'm excited. I just subscribed and I will definitely be checking out your stuff. Yeah, I know. That's me. I was like, how was I not connected? Tommy, good afternoon. How are you?
See where I'm putting my finger?
I see you pointing your finger. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, who are you making?
Well, I don't know who that is. Who is that?
Cookie.
Forky?
Yeah.
It's a cartoon. It's great.
Raya.
Yes, that's fantastic. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And because all I talk about is healing, you got to remember when you got a kid who struggles, and you guys clearly know what that is, when you're struggling yourself and you're trying to find ways in work and childcare and all the things, they don't behave the same way as normal childcare. So you can't get childcare. You can't keep a proper job because you're always having to come home because the meltdowns and stuff. And it's kids. They have to feel safe. They have to feel all of that. But you go through a lot of losses while you're trying to figure it out. And learning that along the way also takes a lot of healing. She was the biggest gift for me in the fact that, there comes a point in time in our life where we don't want to fight anymore. We're tired and we're exhausted and we just can't be bothered. And life had really beat me up a lot. It kicked the crap out of me. Wouldn't let me up, laughed at me while I was down, and then I was gifted with Grace, and that protection, the ability to say, no, this little one needs fighting for, she needs somebody to advocate for her the way no one ever advocated for me. I do love you very much, and you do? You gotta... Oh, you have an autism? I don't know if they do here or not, but we don't even get the opportunity until she's diagnosed. And it's been 3.5 years well, it's been her whole life, but it's been 3.5 years we've been really fighting, trying to get a struggle. And she just got her first doctor's appointment this Friday, so I'm super excited. It's the pathway, it's opening, and that's, to me, that's all that matters. Oh, I do it all the time. But it is the healing. That's what it takes, right? And along the way, when you're going that way, she reminded me that it doesn't have to be that way, right? What, baby? Have what? I don't understand what you're saying. That's right.
They don't say it loud, okay?
Okay. You didn't say it.
Mommy, can you let me have news together?
We can have noodles together after I'm done my live. Yes, ma'am. Sorry. There's always distractions, and I've had to learn to work with them. So I apologize to you guys if sometimes it's frustrating, but I've just learned that some things matter. Um, I'm trying to get her into those things. We're not there yet, but I'm praying, and I've had to do it all myself, plus try to build a business, create the content. And it took a lot of healing, and it took a lot of understanding hyper independence. There's no words to describe where that comes from. And what I had to learn is I had to unlearn everything I've been taught my whole life. I came from chaos to yeah, it's just, at the end of the day, my daughter comes first. I'll shut it down. I make her try to learn patience, and we do work, and I try to create and stand up for the boundaries. But at the same time, at the end of the day, uh, she's priority. And if something's really upsetting her, I'll shut it down quick, right? So, but it took a long time, and I took a lot of losses. I took a lot of things. And in that trauma, what people didn't understand is it wasn't just me they were kicking while they were down. They were kicking her because all that transition and it took a big toll on her. So getting her to even come out and learn was a big thing. But I also understood that in all of the transitions, that's how I had to go. I had to always go back. I had to go back and what is this teaching me? How did I learn this? So when I tell you I did all this in the messy way, but you can go to all my other ones. My first one is Fire and Flow, which is, hold on, my thing was went on. Fire and Flow is my beginning one, and that's just learning how to understand and peel back the layers and understand the information of the emotion. And I had to break it down like that because, okay, but I'm live. Remember the boundary? Sorry, parents are important. Parents are their main advocates.
I don't want to be baby.
Miss Grace, do you remember the boundary? I love you so much, but you know you're pushing it. Yes, as parents are their main advocates, having a good IEP once diagnosed. We've been working on it. The IEP is just all over the place, and I pretty much have to tell them how to teach her and what works. So, yeah, and Simone talks about that a lot too. Like you guys, I think we all align for specific reasons. And as much as I'm always, I had to learn myself before I could even understand my daughter, and I had a messy go of it, painful, traumatic. It was struggle. My whole life was like that. So to not do that to my daughter, what had to happen? I had to unlearn all of the crap, all of the toxicity, and I had to peel back every single emotion. And now, if you go back to my Fire and Flow, it talks about understanding each emotion, and there's about 10 of them, and there's one where it talks about the kindness, which is today, but then and there's a whole part of it because the kindness is actually probably the most traumatic of them all. At least it was for me, because when you're hyper independent and when you don't understand, if someone's finally being kind to you, your initial instinct is to push it away. I don't deserve this. This isn't. It becomes a whole thing of worth, and a lot of people self-sabotage. They break down. They lose their place. They give up where they're at because they don't know how to process or understand that kindness because they haven't received it. And I know that sounds like a little dramatic or overwhelming, but I had to actually realize that I had been through that and I had done that, and I had to understand why. And that was a hard thing to understand. So when the Fire and Flow, I broke it down, simple bite-sized steps. It's just so you can understand it. And then my next one was the Grace and the Grind, and that was learning how to not keep up with the Joneses. We don't compare. We stay in our lane. We worry about us and ours, and focus on the things that we can control, how we respond, not react, and allow ourselves grace. We're allowed to feel every single one of those feelings and say, it's okay. And in those moments, we give ourselves that joy, that love, and that care that maybe we didn't get. Some of us did, and that's wonderful. I'll never say it's bad for somebody else, but there are many, many that haven't. And when I go through that, learning to give yourself grace is probably the biggest part, the most radical act of self-love you could ever do. And it's okay to say, I'm upset, I'm frustrated, I don't even know what I am right now, but I need space and I need a minute. There's another channel that also talks about their autistic child. Oh, I'll have to look that up. Also, uh, a simple family life. I think it's Strength, Love, Patience is her second channel. She's kind of starting to talk about that too. I'm writing it down just so I don't forget it. FELICA. And because, see, I don't know all of the answers, and because I don't have a diagnosis, I don't want to just label her this, but at the same time, the struggle, it's not about that, it's about finding the pathway. Okies, how are you? Amayas, hi, how are you? Here for a few, yes. I'm so sore today, I can't tell you.
Thank you, Mom.
In England, it's called EHCP, and you can get one before diagnosis. See, here you can't. We need to get her an ICANN assessment, and it's just gross. How are you? Welcome, welcome. So what I had to do is take it and I had to break it down, and the grace part was probably the hardest part of it because, like, I'm not going to yell at my kid 24/7. I'm not going to do all these things, but I'll be mad at myself and beat myself up like it's, like I'm the most evil person on the planet because I was programmed to do that. So unlearning that and teaching that, that's where that one talks about. Working on Star Wars. I love that. I can't wait to see it. I love Star Wars. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I do. I love it. Okay, baby. So, sorry, there's always distractions around here. I do my best. But along the way, the next one was accountability, right? And that was everybody, well, not everybody, I don't want to overgeneralize, but many people align accountability with punishment, right? Like, I'm going to be grounded, I'm going to lose this, I'm going to go to jail, this is going to happen. So when people actually have that focus on accountability, that's what they think. So they avoid it. Even subconsciously, it's not always the same. Miss Grace, that's not nice, please. If you're going to do that, take it to your room and play. 1, make a decision. Okay, but that's not very nice. So in the accountability, the idea is reframing accountability without self-punishment, because just noticing, oh, I don't feel that really good, that didn't make me feel good, what is that? And just that is being accountable. Giving yourself space, understanding when you need grace, understanding your capacity at every given moment. I hope my channel grows. Of course it's gonna grow. Why would it not grow? You're showing up and you're doing all of the things, and your beautiful art, you're putting that time. We're all hoping it grows. I have only 200 subscribers, honey. I got a lot to catch up to you, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I love the slow path because you know why? I get to meet the people that I align with. I get to see them and have those conversations, and I get to celebrate your wins just as much as you celebrate mine. And do you know how exciting that is? When you go so far so fast, you miss all of these great people. You miss the time. Oh, I missed you too. I saw you yesterday on the source. Through the week, I'm so busy. I tried to do the watch hours and stuff through the week, but what happens, I get so busy and then I get guilt-ridden because I didn't get enough in, and I drive myself crazy because I want to be there for everybody. And then I had to learn to start taking my own advice too, right? So I set my weekends aside and I do a lot of it then. Yeah, congratulations, it's fantastic. I think I'm at 225, which is pretty exciting. 225 amazing people that show up, stop in, leave good advice, and I do everything I can to get over there too. It's amazing. So accountability, we're reframing it. The whole idea on that one is we're not punishing. We're not high school anymore. We're not going to lose things, and we're not going to go to jail unless we're doing really crazy stuff. And then, that by that far the ship has sailed, and we want to reel it back so it never gets to that point. And being accountable, supporting others on YouTube is important. Me too, right? Because we want to help. And it's struggle because you don't want to feel guilty. You want to love everybody and celebrate them. And I've just learned my watch hours are slow growing. And it's because when I go support you, I'll watch your videos too, but I want to go to your lives. If I know you do lives, I want to go and be present and ask good questions and do the things that are going to create those other questions in people who are like, oh yeah, what about this? Right? Because then it generates that conversation and then people actually get to see what your amazingness is, right? And to me, I would much rather spend my time supporting in a way where I can be 100% present. If you tell, hi baby, if you tell me, gentle, I love you.
Can I?
You want to say hi with your dirty face because you're playing outside? Say hi quickly.
Hi, Mama. Mama.
We're going to have lunch when I'm done this, but you got to let me finish it. You just had a chocolate bar and snacks and your big fat breakfast. Go sit down.
I'm going to get
There's chips in the bottom cupboard. My little snacker. Sorry, guys. We know how important it is. It's just tip. If you want, I can give you a shout out on my channel. Anything, here's what, I love all of that from people, but I just want you to understand when you do those things, I'm always going to be like, that's amazing, thank you so much. But it's not expected, and it's not something that, I'm not going to like you or treat you better or worse based on that. I always appreciate that kind of love, and I try to do that when I can for people. But I also don't want you to feel like things are an obligation, because just like when I'm giving the things that I give it with I don't expect you to like, share, comment. At the end of them, sometimes I'll say, I'm supposed to do the rigmarole, like, comment, share, kind of just being funny about it because I'm supposed to say it. But if you don't, I'm not going to be like, oh, they didn't do that. So you can always do whatever you like, but don't ever feel like I'm always going to appreciate it, because when you give freely and you don't expect, it takes a lot of the burden off of you, and you understand that it's going to be paid forward. So when I don't give anymore unless I have the capacity to do that. And it took me a long time to get there. I would overgive until I was run down. There was nothing left. And then while I'm drowning, I'm in the ditch trying to climb my way out, and everybody's laughing at me that I helped, it was that resentment would creep in and all those things. And it's like, I can't understand why someone would do that. And it was because I was allowing it, right? And so I had to learn that. Focus on your channel first of all. Yes, like, that's kind of what I learned. No tip. It's because I appreciate, I appreciate that. And that's really all I hope to do, is inspire a different form of thinking. What do you mean I don't love you? You know I love you, silly. Give me the chips and yes, come on, give me the chips and I'll open them for you.
Mom, do you want some?
Not right now because I'm working. Thank you though. But, no, stop. We're being gentle, okay? We're not going to throw things. Go sit down nicely. And don't make a mess. Oh, don't even say that. Don't make a mess. I've also had to learn that house cleaning happens twice a day, morning and evening, because otherwise it's meltdown. Yeah, you get what you give, but you know what? That's not always true, because when you overgive to the point where you're exhausted, and what happens is you start to notice. So let me give an example, okay? So I'm live right now, right? And I have 225 followers, and I go and I try to always show up when I can. But imagine I showed up every single day, and then I went live, and there was only a couple of people there. As much as you want to be happy, you're going to be like I am. I'm always happy. But imagine if I was doing that and be like, how come they're not showing up for me? Then you're not then you start focusing on these things that don't need to be there, right? Like, they have a life, they have work, they're trying to build, they want to help and do all the things. So the people that have time, more time, will always do a little bit more supporting than we can. And when you understand that when you do it, you make sure it's meaningful and you make sure it's supportive, um, it matters, right? Because you're present. And that's what matters. You're so right. I get what you give. I inspire you every day. I hope so. That's why I create the posts that I do. And if you go and look back at all of them, they tell the story of this journey, and they ask the questions. And the whole idea is that no matter where you are on the stage, getting curious and asking why. Miss Grace, don't be. She has a thing with the toilets, and every once in a while, she likes to stuff stuff down there and see if it'll flush. It's so not fun. It's so bored. uh, no, exactly, and that's what I've learned to focus on, and I had to because I sat at 7 subscribers for I don't know 3 years or something, and I was always supporting people and showing up, and they were like, it didn't matter, right? And then it just finally started aligning with people that are the same. You know, they want to win, but they want to see everyone else win too, and they just want to share their journey and find those people that they can help and that also have ideas to help them. That's collaborating, and it's beautiful. And I think there's so much of it out here, and the more we start aligning with those people, the more beautiful our opportunities become. So. Uh, when I teach these, I'm all over the place. I am, which is why I don't make videos because the lives is the interaction, and that's the questions, and that's where the actual. Even though I say and stuff a lot, it's because I'm always distracted, and I recognize that. But I've also learned that I have no other choice. Right? It is what it is. So if you can get past the uhs and all that, the knowledge is really there. And we all actually have the knowledge, but we just let it slip by. And what I had to learn was getting present and understanding it allowed me the space to go, wait, but if that worked for over here, why can't it work here? Right? And oh my God, I didn't snap this time. I caught it back here. What did I do different this time? Right? So I had to break it down step by step, the good, the bad, the ugly, and say, not judge myself, observe it like I was witnessing an incident. Right? Write it down, step back. And I had to go back and I had to reprocess and I had to check. Oh, it worked that time too. Oh, it worked that time too. And now I'm celebrating. I'm literally no one else gonna pat you on the back. Oh, I did good. I really did good. I'm so proud of myself. You know, and it was just those the little happy dances, you know, when you did something right and you feel good about it. Instead of getting to that space where you're always punishing yourself or trying to compare yourself to somebody else. Nothing is ever good enough when you're breathing. Inherently, you're good enough. You're worthy. And even if you're at the worst, most broken down part in your life, you're worthy. And if you're broken down that far down and things are going on, you got to remember that that's that much of a power story you have to tell. And when you figure out the struggles, and it takes time, when you don't have people to do that for you, you know, it's very that abandonment becomes real and the self-worth and it goes so far downhill. But if you come up to something like this or you get this video and it just pops into your thing and it tells you you are worthy and it tells you something beautiful and it tells you a grounded action step that you can do to maybe just show up for yourself today, affirm your greatness, speak your beauty into the world, starts popping up, and then those people that needed that so desperately in that moment, it's going to start hitting them. So it's slow now, but I know what's going to happen, and I trust it. I'm building the structure now, so when people desperately need it, it's already there and they can find it, and it's free. It's not going to cost them a penny. They may have to put up with the ums and the and the distractions, but at the end of the day, the knowledge is real and it's repeatable. So it doesn't matter what your situation is. It doesn't matter what's going on. It's giving you the tools. And as long as you have a tool belt full of ways that you can celebrate yourself, ways that you can check yourself, be accountable, give yourself grace, because the one thing people don't seem to understand is healing takes what it takes, when it takes, how long it takes, and you can't control that. But what you can control is how you perceive it and finding the people around you that align, right? Um, Being genuine is most important. Yeah, you do a good job. Thank you so much. I try really hard, and I had to. I found this struggle, and sometimes I still get choked up. So I gotta. Uh, I'm an empath, which is many of us are. If you're trauma informed at all in any way, shape, or form, you've been through trauma. You're an empath, which means you feel the energy around you. You can notice things shift in a breath, right? Like you understand it, and it's unfortunately it's a trauma response. But it is a gift that's been made from that trauma response. So when you learn to use it and not take in that energy, and the whole thing is when people project and they can be frustrated, have their own stuff going on, they don't do it on purpose. Maybe some people do, but for like 99.9% of people aren't projecting that stuff onto you. But that doesn't mean you don't feel it, right? So learning how to process that and understand that, oh, that's not mine. I know that's not mine. I feel great. Why I feel shaky all of a sudden? Because you're sitting beside somebody on the bus and you can see they're agitated. You start to see and understand and know how to process it. Anastasia, welcome, welcome. Our lives are a daily journey, no doubt, one day at a time. That's all we do. How are you, Anastasia? Welcome, welcome. So this part of the stage is the alchemy emotion part of it. So if you take the information, the fire and flow, and then you take the grace, and then you take the accountability, the proper next step. This is the alchemy emotion where we're not stopping getting stuck. We're not pausing anymore. We're just pausing. We're taking a breath. We're understanding, processing, because we're learning how to put it all together to understand how to do it, what makes sense, what tools to use. And believe it or not, I'm going to give you my most favorite one. I talk about it a lot. I cut from my last one and posted a video of it yesterday. So, me enjoying my gratitude. Oh, I love that you're enjoying it. I'm so glad about that. Someday I hope that my content makes me boku bucks and I can give my tea away for free to everybody with the rituals and my guided journals and all kinds of stuff on my website. I would much rather give it to people, give with love. But unfortunately, until then, I have to find a way to support my family. So finding that balance, as much as I want to always give, I also have to support me and my daughter. So one thing at a time. Yes, I love it so much. I'm glad you love it. It's my, that gratitude tea saved my life. It allowed my nervous system to become regulated. It was cathartic. It allowed the chaos of the world to leave my brain for the moments while I was chopping. And I had purpose because those fruits were battered, bruised. They weren't the perfect whatever it was supposed to be. But they were washed and clean and cared for with love. And in the chopping, I got to tell myself day in and day out, you matter. Just because you have some bumps and bruises doesn't mean you're any less worthy. You have value. And I would tell that. I speak that into my teas and my fruits. And when I was doing that, I was lifting my own self up. So when I tell you the love and intention that went into those teas, they're there. And there's such a story, just like the building of my website. Everything I had to do by myself. With zero help except my chat GPT, which is what I'm talking about here a little bit. If you use chat GPT and if you are ever doing those things, just remember that it's meant to take in what you're saying. And what I do a lot of times, or your voice recorder, I don't know if that makes sense, but like your Google Notes or whatever, it will record your voice. So when you're trying to process and understand something, or you're feeling those emotions getting overwhelming, the immediate thing to do, instead of trying to write it down, because your brain will fight your hand, and as much as you want to try and get it down, it's racing. And a lot of times that's the survival mode kicking in, not understanding how to calm the storm. In that moment, just spew it out. Don't worry about writing just yet. Just spew it out. Say everything you got to say. Record it, and then go back and read it.
Get that cup.
What cup? From the dollar store, baby. Okay, I'm still talking. Hold on. No, we have to find the boundary, baby. I love you. So when you spewing it out like that, also if you see, like for me, there's always distractions. So when you just say it out, you can record it. But when you go and you read it back, you can be like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, that's absurd. That's, I was just angry. Obviously, I don't mean that. But you can process it. And what happens is there's always going to be that one thing. Sometimes two you get lucky, but there's always going to be that one thing and the blah, 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 all that coming out. It's like, oh, what's that? Why does that align with that? Where did that come from? And then that's the thing you write down. And that's the thing that you go, why was that there? How did that align, right? These are tools. And it's about being curious. And it's about finding ways to manage how you figure it out. And the alchemy of motion is just basically compiling all three of them together so that we're just pausing. We're learning how to do that process in motion and those tools in your tool belt. The biggest tool in your tool belt ever, of all of them, for any of them, is going to be why. Not why did you do that? You're so stupid. I can't believe you did that. Why? How did that happen? Where did that come from? Do you see the difference? We're not punishing ourselves anymore. Did you manage to do vertical line? I don't know. I'm on my phone. I can't figure out any of that stuff. I did manage to learn to clip videos. That was a learning curve. That is nice, better manners. I love that. Thank you so much.
So you also say that when you were a baby.
Okay, baby. I'm working. I love you. But you gotta let me get... Yeah, you talk to your kitty.
Like this, I love you?
Yes, and I love you. And if you continue, you're going to have to go play in your room. Okay? All right. So this part of the structure is the kindness that breaks you open. So when you've been hyper independent and you've had the crap kicked out of you your whole life, physically, mentally, literally, I mean, it goes for all of the above. What happens is your self-worth is down the drain, and when someone is actually kind, you don't know what to do with it. And your first I'm not saying you in general, okay, not you particularly, you, so I just want to be clear when I'm saying that, so nobody thinks I'm trying to point you out or throw you under the bus. But what I do know is what do they want? What are they trying to take from me? What am I going to lose? When is the other shoe going to drop? All of those survival mode things that you've been programmed your whole life to understand now go through, and it's like they're being kind and I don't know what to do. So then you go into all those questions and you start pushing it away, and you're being mean to them or snapping at them, or all kinds of different ways, because it's a protection. It's your own body's way of knowing how to survive. So in processing that, yes, we want to use all the steps, but the alchemy emotion part is like when you're not used to kindness, your system doesn't recognize it as safe, right? It's confused and it doesn't know. And regulating that nervous system is a struggle in itself, right? So instead of receiving it, you're going to push it away, question it, shut down, or feel emotional out of nowhere. And trust me, those emotions were so bad. I'll tell you a story. I could talk about the trauma that I had been through, like, just matter of fact. And it's not that I have no emotion over it. It's that I've been through it so much that there comes a time where the emotion it's not there anymore. It just is what it is. And I can talk about the kindness that I do for other people because it just is what it is. It's not something that I would just brag about, but when I would talk about it, it's just matter of fact because it just is. But when I would try to talk about something somebody else did for me, the kindness, I would just be so choked up and I couldn't speak. Tears well up in my eyes. Finally, like I've become more regulated, but still, it brings up that space in our heart, because learning to understand that people just genuinely want to help you or show up for you is something, when you've never received it, it is a huge thing. And it's sad, and it's really sad to see people push that away. but I notice it right away and I recognize it and I see when people are doing it. And I always try to reach out nicely and kind of say, hey, it's okay. I see you. Um, and that's why I'm doing this. So when you feel like everything feels uncomfortable, I don't want you to self-sabotage. I want you to stop and go, why is this? Why do I feel like this? Why do I automatically think these people are trying to hurt me? Right? Not be mad at yourself. It's just ask why. Right? Because there's so many things going on there that, it's not always going to be resolved in just one time. But if you can make it a practice, it becomes a lot easier to understand yourself, see your own patterns, understand why those patterns come about. And the pattern is this long. So this is the end. This is the blow up. This is where everything F's up. But if I can catch it anywhere along on this pattern and change it, guess what it changes? That blow up doesn't happen. Then you don't go through the guilt, fear, shame, all that cycle. You don't have to go through it anymore. You get to celebrate. That never happened. Doesn't matter. I don't care if it was right here. You didn't do this. You didn't go back to this cycle. You made a different choice. And each time you do it, you get a little bit easier and easier and easier. And what happens is you integrate it. So the idea isn't that I'm giving you the tool and it's going to be the fix all. The idea is if you can notice it and start celebrating yourself, saying, man, I did better this time. But why did I do? How did that make a difference? I did better. Can I do that again? Can I try it again next time? Can I celebrate again next time? And then your confidence starts getting bigger and better. And you know what happens? You start learning how to receive just as much as you give. And you start learning how to give to yourself the same way that you would maybe give to everyone but you. And you're doing it out of self-love. And when we start doing a radical act of self-love, our self-worth goes up exponentially. And that's all I care about in this world. If I don't teach anybody anything else in this world, if I can make your self-love and your self-awareness and your ability to understand how powerful you truly are out of any of these, then I'm winning. Even if it's just one tool that you go, oh yeah, that's helpful, right? So when you get emotional and stuff out of nowhere, it's not because something's wrong. It's because something is opening, and it's your heart, right? It's not understanding. Wait, this is safe. This is okay, and I've never felt that before, and I don't really know how to process that, and that's okay too. Because when you recognize it and you say, hey, and you can even tell that person you don't have to be, because being vulnerable first starts with yourself, and that's understandable. But it's okay to just say, okay, I need a minute. I need the process. And I teach this with my daughter.
It's okay to say, I need a minute?
I need a minute. That's right. Because we need to process, right? And even as an adult, I have to say that to my daughter all the time. Because things get overwhelming. It gets overstimulated. I love her so much, but I'm by myself. And sometimes we need those moments of, holy crap, am I going to make it, right? We have to pat our own back when no one shows up. So when someone finally does show up to pat your back, you're like, whoa, I don't know what to do with this. And it's okay. So sometimes kindness doesn't hurt you. It just reveals where you've been hurt, right? And so when I was talking about the awareness, I brought it up a little bit. That was the fire and flow. So you can always go back and look at those. But the first thing is, what is coming up when someone's kind to you? Discomfort, fear, confusion, the urge to pull away. That's almost always sunny side up. Welcome. Good day. How are you? Several things I've went through seem to process sometimes daily. I bet. And then may go away for a while, then comes right back. Yeah, because it goes away for a while. It's because you're healing that part. Because if that same thing came back, right, it's going to, like, you already know how to walk through it. So what you're doing is walking through it with more grace. When it comes back again, almost always, it's almost there, but it's a slightly different trigger. It's a slightly different thing. And it's coming back up because it's saying, wait, that worked over there for that, what I did, and it went away. So how can I take that tool that worked for over there and bring it over here, right? It's showing you that we all have it, and you heal through it, and it's going to keep coming up. But the idea is when it goes away and when you do the things that work, celebrate them. Be proud of yourself so much, because when we do that, we deny all of the things that we've been doing right. And we've done wrong our whole lives, right? We criticize ourselves. We're our own worst critic. Goga, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. Oh, it's probably good evening there, eh? Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you came. We're talking about the kindness that breaks you open. And we all know I'm actually doing really good. I didn't even get choked up. But those things that we're doing it to be proud of ourselves. When those things go away, they go away because you're integrating them. You need to understand at the end, post-procedure, what happened? Did I miss it? Oh, I'm getting surgery tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Make sure you get lots of rest. How did I not see that? Good evening from Kenya. Yes, afternoon for you. Oh my goodness. You're going in for surgery. Make sure you get lots of rest. You got somebody there to butter you up, to show up with the tea and show up with, a little snack and lunch. Make sure you're covered up, tucked in, all those good stuff. I hope you get somebody lined up, a really good friend that's going to show up, family, whoever it is. Where is my Grace? She is on the, see, look at my messy table. My God, every day. Come say hi. Gogo wants to say hi. Remember, Gogo was waving at you yesterday in church. Do you remember? Her hair's wild today. Right here. Say hi, Gogo.
Hi, Gogo.
You can't see you. There you go. Say hi. Say, I'm eating all my mama's chips.
Hey, come on, there are chips.
There are chips. You're right. I love you.
We share.
We share. That's right. Thumbs up.
Hey, that's me over there.
It is you over there. Okay, go. Look, he's waving at you. Look at the hands. Yay. Okay, go sit down. I love you so much. Look at all them chips in your mouth. She's so cute. She just loves you. Every time when we do Sunday service, she's like, hi, Gogo. And then she always tells me, whoever it is talking, they're so beautiful, they're so pretty, and I love it so much. And grief is one emotion that isn't associated with the death, but so loss of things lost in life, like the friendships, yes, the way of life for our daughter, that is a huge one. And as I was trying to struggle with that, sorry, I didn't want to miss that because I knew that was an important thing. We have to understand that when we grieve the loss of what they have and what they're doing, we really miss out on their strengths and their beauty. I don't want to say we miss out on it, but when we focus on the things that they can't do, we almost hinder them ourselves. When we start building their strengths and allowing them to be wild and crazy and all of the things, and sometimes just sitting back, I find myself just watching Grace just out of nowhere. She'd be like, my favorite thing now, she's finally going out in the yard. Oh, this is why I always appeal to your kids.
I love you, Mama.
I'm always coming on Sunday.
Mama,
It's my commitment.
why am I doing to my cat?
Because I love what you do, and I think it's amazing. Yes, you can show them your cat quickly.
Mama, say you love me.
Yeah, you always love your cat. This is her support animal. It goes everywhere, except school. She doesn't get it till after school, but it goes everywhere with her, and no matter what, at the end of the day, it gives her the confidence to do all of the things that she can do.
Like,
I love your kitty. Okay, go.
because this kitty is loving.
It is for loving. You're right. Focus on their strength. Destiny is a joy. Joy is such a strength. Yes, that's the way Grace is. She's such a cheerleader. She always makes me so happy. But as a parent, oh, I know. But that's okay. That grief creeping in is because you're mourning all the things that you thought you were gonna have, be, say, do, think, and it's okay, because what happens when you're grieving that, you're letting it go, right? You're saying, that's what I thought it was, and you're letting it go. But you know what happens when you grieve it and you allow yourself to grieve it? It's not about grieving it. It's I used to have to lock myself in a bathroom because I was so traumatized, and things that were trying to figure out what was going to happen, where the next meal was going to come from, if we were going to have a place to live, and with a child, that is but I had to be okay and everything had to be okay. And I did. I always found a way. Well, I didn't. God did. Period. There's just nobody can convince me otherwise. I did everything that I could possibly do on my end. And then I finally had to say, I don't know what else to do. It's up to you. And then literally God said, okay, watch this. Boom, 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 boom. And when you can go back to my older videos and watch and see, one day I'm homeless camping, the next minute, I got my place and I got my business. All the things happened because I had been working and pushing and pushing and pushing, crying in the bathrooms and coming out, let's go on an adventure today, and figuring it out and always making it as fun for her so she didn't know. You need oh yeah, it's the only way. And it's not, the way that I understand it is when you're doing the best you can, when you show up for yourself and when you allow yourself that time, that grief, you allow that yourself that understanding. Don't punish yourself for that. Don't feel bad. Allow it, but then also question, as I'm releasing this, what am I making room for? What do I notice about Destiny that makes her so strong? What makes her so happy? What makes her ability to make me smile every day? You're releasing that grief and you're replacing it with all of the absolute possibilities, right? And when you let go of those things, you actually take the roof off. You take the limit off and you allow so much more. You never know what's going to happen. And the way science and everything happens, all the new updates, there's so many things that could possibly happen. But if you keep yourself limited and stuck in the worry, the fear, the grief, yes, feel it. You have to feel it. You have to understand it. But just don't get stuck in it. That's why when we learn to give ourselves the grace and understanding of it, we also have to take that time to say, okay, so what is my next step? I've given myself space, but I don't want to sit in this. I don't want to feel this all the time. I know that sometimes it does make me a little sad. So in those moments, what could I do? Is there a creative project? Could I start painting? Could I go for a walk? Could I go spend some extra time with Destiny and say, what would you like to do? Is there something new we could try? The idea isn't about ignoring it. It's about refocusing that energy. So you could let it weigh you down, where it's so heavy you feel like you can't climb out of it. Or you can say, that energy, yeah, I have that grief. But what do I actually have right now that is so amazing that nobody can take away from me? What do I have? What has been given to me already? And I would love to focus my energy on that instead. And what happens is the pathways start to open. Your brain doesn't go into survival mode anymore. It doesn't go into, oh my God, it's this or this. All of a sudden, this pathway and this way and this way. And all these different ways open up. And you find yourself more happy. And all of a sudden, your brain starts firing off in 25 million directions. Oh my God, I need to create this and I can do this. And if I make this, and I could actually make this, and it would be easier for Destiny to do this. And when you start doing that, oh my Lord, just start documenting. That's why I said the voice recorder, because the way my brain works, record yourself. So the things when your brain, because we forget it, we get distracted, our kids, we got all the things going on. Take that time, spew it out, blah, 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 get it down, record it, then go back, sort through it. I didn't want to lose that gold. Now I got it. Save it in a document. We're going to come back to that, right? What is that making room for? It's true, right? When we hold on to those things, or we punish ourselves for them, we're filling that space with grief, with shame, right? How dare I feel grief because my daughter is going through a struggle? How dare I feel bad for that? How dare I? No, it doesn't matter. You're allowed to feel that. You can't block that because it's just going to keep going, getting piled on, piled on, piled on. You're going to feel it in your body. You'll feel pain. That is the actual beginning of dis-ease, right? Because we're not processing it. And the moment we start shaming ourselves for it, we take that space that would have been open for all these amazing things, and we fill it with shame, fear, guilt, all those things. And then what happens? We have no room for the new. We have no room for the excitement. We have no room for that. And then we feel bad all over again. And then we're deeper in the cycle, deeper, deeper, deeper. And it can go on forever. And it can be just such a weight, we're never going to rise up. But when you start releasing it and finding those ways to release it, switch it out, the first initial empowerment, the way your confidence grows, and the way you start trusting yourself. Because when you go into that snapping, that upset, that reactive all the time, what happens? You're punishing yourself. You're mad at yourself. But all it's trying to teach you is just trying to show you where your struggle is. So if you start, well, this makes me snap every single time. What is that? Why? Not you're horrible, you're a piece of crap, you're this because you're snapping. Why does it make me snap? And when you think you have the answer, and if 20 things come up, okay, write them down. Doesn't matter what they are. Write them down, document them, however you got to do it. Write it down. And then when you go, oh, well, that one's just absurd. What happens is you start seeing them. Well, that doesn't make sense. You're seeing it on paper. That definitely doesn't make sense. Oh, that's kind of curious. Okay, we'll pocket that. And maybe we'll ask why a couple more times on that, right? The why, if you can change any of your emotions in that moment and go from whatever it is to that why, I wonder why, and take yourself almost outside of it, like you're observing, like you're witnessing somebody else. And how would you give that advice to your friend? How would you support them in their time if it was them and you, right? What happens is a lot of times we know how to give that. Don't climb on that couch. You're going to fall on your head. Sit. Yeah, don't be crazy. I love you. Don't kill yourself. Okay, so like when we start to understand and process that and learn how to ask ourselves those questions, we create that space. But also we integrate it and we become more trusting because we know now we're not just reacting. Our first question is why? Why is that? That's interesting. What am I observing here? Right? And when you say that and you say that to yourself and you check yourself, guess what? Anger, fear, guilt, shame is gone because immediately, right, it's replaced by curiosity. And the curiosity is like, how would I do this if it was for a friend? Right? And 9 times out of 10, we're going to give far more better advice and we're going to do for our friends way better than we would for ourselves. It's inherently, it's programmed into us. So when we start showing up and doing that, we start doing that and showing up for ourselves, we create that space and we trust ourselves. And then we trust ourselves. So immediately that feeling comes up and it's like, why? It takes it down 10 levels right away. Boop, 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 boop. And now you have a chance to process it. You've given yourself space and curiosity because when we're in knowledge and we're in seeking wisdom, seeking understanding, we can't be angry, we can't be frustrated, we can't be upset at the same time. We can be curious though, and it changes the way we behave in such, I have to check myself all the time. I get too focused on something, I get my blinders on and I want to get this done and I want to, okay, and what happens is it makes it so much harder. Now something that would be 20 minutes takes me 3 hours, right? Oh, why did I do that to myself? Just go take a space. Go for a walk. I have my little, these things, and I put them on my board, okay, because I overwork all the time. I have to check myself on a regular basis. I see my daughter, and when I'm working too much on here or doing too much at the computer, I can tell when she's overstimulated and she needs extra me time, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you fighting with this when you can be playing with your kid, right? And I have to check myself, and not in a bad way, but I check myself all the time, and it's just for that reason. I appreciate that, Simone. Thank you. I just saw this quote. Autistic children are brilliant observers. They are. And if they could, some of the nonverbal ones are just like the way they observe, and when you can actually, when they can get that communication open, the things that they have you ever watched the telepathy tapes? I guess it's listened to the podcast. They may struggle to express their feelings, but they understand more than you think. Oh, like, I'll tell you, it's called the telepathy tapes. It's on here. It's like a podcast. I don't know if you know anything about it or not, but if you do, go in with no judgment, go in with no expectations. But if you go in and you just listen to that, episode 1 through 10. You got to listen all the way through. Um, First of all, you're gonna cry and blubber like a baby. You're going to be inspired. You are going to learn a whole bunch of crap that you never thought that you could possibly understand. And you'll find that there are many people that connect, and you have a connection with your child more than you know. And what you have to open yourself up to it. A lot of parents are scared and don't understand and don't know how to do it. But when you get quiet and you start trusting, the way they communicate with you would make your head pop off. And the science back proof, and there's all kinds of really great stuff there. Don't go into it, just all I ask is if you watch it, go in with an open mind. But the way it will allow you to just get curious, right? We don't know everything in the world, but I do know one thing. Life is lifing with or without us, and things are happening. We create our world. So we can either speak life into our world, life and amazingness, or we can speak death and chaos and anger and fear. And either way, it's going to happen. But I choose to speak happiness and joy and kindness. And yes, the telepathy tapes. There's like 10, there's more now. Last time I watched it, there's 10 episodes. But you got to start from episode 1, and you got to do it in order, or else you'll be like all over the place. But, and it's specifically on nonverbal autistic children. It will blow your freaking mind, and it will make your heart explode, and you'll be crying like a baby. But I promise you, it is whether you believe it or not. It's your choice. But there's so much proof. There's not even a doubt in my mind that it is. Not even a doubt in my mind. They're just waiting. They're just waiting for us, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And when you start understanding that you can possibly open that connection and understand that connection, and then when you finally do, because it takes a little bit of time and practice, but when you finally do, your whole brain will explode. Your heart and brain at the same time, but in the best way. So, I mean, it's just my opinion, but I've watched it 3 or 4 or 5 times now, and it just always brings a tear to my eye. It makes me so happy, and it makes me so hopeful for people opening their hearts and minds. So it's not I have nothing to do with it, so I'm not plugging them in any other way but what it did for me as a human being, right? So, all right, so I'm sorry, guys, I always get distracted and talk a lot, but to me, it always aligns, and if it helps, even in one little way, shape, or form, then I know it's meant to be told. So I also align myself very much with God, and unlike most people, I talk to God 24/7. I'm always talking. I'm always saying thank you. I'm always having those conversations, and I already know the answer's coming, so I never worry about it. I know it'll come through a sign, through a symbol, through a connection, through the people that I align with. It's always right on time. I don't question it anymore. And even when that fear or the sadness or the worry creeps in, it's always been proven to me right on time. And you can go back in my videos as far as you want. You will see. Proof is in the pudding. Actually, I probably have 3 or 4. If you go to my older videos, I probably have 3 or 4 instances where everything went to hell. I was forced into transition. I lost everything. Everything happened, and due to slipping through the cracks or people not caring that I was a human being. There was all kinds of things that happened. But if you go back and look at them, you'll see I was about to be homeless one day. The very next day, this money came from the government. It came from my taxes. It came from whatever, exactly what I needed to go, exactly where I needed to go. Not crazy big amounts of money, but it always showed up exactly when it was needed because I was always doing the right steps, or as much as I could, right? As much as I understood, and always trying to learn more, and then understanding I've done everything I can do. And I questioned myself so many times, and what am I doing wrong? What is so wrong with me? And it wasn't. I had to learn to advocate for myself. I had to learn I don't deserve that. And the only way I had to learn that was by walking through that fire so many times and seeing the injustice. When I tell you I have a whole workshop, 6-part series on systemic harm, like the patterning, the way my brain goes, I can see patterns from 5 miles away. I'm a professional, like literally a master at it. But what I'm doing is I'm doing the personal accountability, the personal, all of the things, the personal grace, the understanding, the information, because if I can teach you or get people in that critical thinking, in that understanding that critical thinking and emotion have to align. Head and heart have to always align, or you're always going to miss something, have a sidestep or a struggle. And the only way to align both of them is to start trusting yourself, to get curious. How does that make me feel? Is that emotion something from a filter, from a program, or from abuse or trauma that I've been through in the past? Or is that feeling something because I have an open heart and I'm understanding and I've processed those things? So there's a huge difference. And when you start to understand that, and it does take practice, but the idea is when you celebrate that stuff and start showing up and saying, man, I did that. I feel so much better. It could have been an absolute dumpster fire, if I kept down this way. But I caught it here, and I left that space. There's this much space. I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't hurt myself. I didn't struggle. I don't have to feel guilt, shame, fear, any of those things. I made it right here. I'm going to celebrate it. And I promise you, when you do that, the next time, it's going to happen. Because that memory is going to pop into your head. Because it's going to be the first time you gave yourself true, real, honest congratulations, celebration, positive reinforcement. You're being that adult, that child, and you needed, right? And that's okay. That's someone that you can be proud of, and you should be proud of, and you should be celebrating it every single time. I don't care if it was a near miss. If you're right here and you didn't quite hit it and you caught it, you celebrate it. Because it didn't turn into the dumpster fire. You don't have to lose everything. You don't have to fight yourself. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to feel that shame. You need to celebrate that. Because you know what happens when you do that? That positive reinforcement, you're going to do it again and again. And you get better and better and better. It's amazing when you start seeing it and putting it into practice. Now, this is the information. That's what I was talking to you about, right? I don't know how to process this yet, but this is what it is, right? So now when we're allowing it, this is the part most people skip, right? They feel it, then judge it. We're not judging anymore. We're not the judge, jury, executioner. We are the curiosity, understand, observant. We are the witness, right? And the witness, when they see somebody get hurt, right, what's their first thing? Oh, are you okay? Right? They want to know if you're okay. You have to allow space for that, right? Why am I like this? This is stupid. I should just accept it. We're not doing that anymore. It's not okay. We give ourselves grace. We allow space, okay? It's okay to feel emotional. It's okay to not know what to say. It's okay if it feels overwhelming. It's gonna until you get used to it. But in the immediate, when it happens, giving that space says, oh, I can understand this. I don't have to feel bad, right? You're not broken. You're learning something new. And when you're learning it, it takes practice. But what happens is when you get these tools in your tool belt, whether it's journaling, whether it's going for a run, whether it's finding a creative outlet, and if you don't know, and if you're like me, there comes a point in your life where you're so busy trying to do everything else and keep everything else afloat, you don't even know what you like anymore. You don't even know or understand. And that's actually a good thing, because that's a clean slate. You can try everything. Go experiment. Go jog. Do exercise. Try yoga. Do Pilates. Go run and play in the park with your kid. Go on the internet and literally search what would be a fun thing to do. Something fun, exciting. We're looking at safe. We don't want to start with skydiving. Grace, Miss Grace, I do love you, but I need you to not do that right now. Okay? Can we work together, please? Thank you. So, we type in what would be a great, I need something I can do on the side to help relieve stress. Some easy, simple projects or creative ideas. that I can start experimenting with. And when the list starts coming out, you just start reading through it, and whatever calls to you, whatever your eyes stick to, try it. Try it with an open mind. And if it's not for you, it's okay. And the great thing about that is you start learning, oh, that's not for me. I didn't like that at all. You become more and more clear. Get out and experiment, just like a kid. When we go back to our child, like the way we deal with our children, right? They go out and play, they have fun, they do this, they don't, oh, that hurt. I don't like that. I'm not going to do that again. Oh, I didn't like that. Right? When we start going back to that and how we experiment things, when you create a boundary with your kid and they say why, they're not asking to fight you, they're asking so they can understand. Well, we're just like those kids, and we need to understand too. So when we treat ourselves just like those children, we're reteaching because we had to unlearn all of that crap. What do? We treat ourselves just like that kid. We celebrate. We give ourselves high five. We look at ourselves in the mirror and say, you're amazing. You figured it out today. You may not be perfect, but you're getting there and you're showing up every single day. I am perfect just as I am. Every day I'm just adding icing on the cake. What, baby? Okay, let me know when you're done. So, and then the next step is the integration. That is the actionable, accountable choice, right? And it's so easy. I'm laying them out simply like this, but that time, give it that time. Feel what you feel. Just like you would let your kid cry, right? When they fall and they get hurt. You're going to hold them and you're going to say, it's okay, you're good. And like us, for a lot of us, it was tough love. Get up, walk it off, whatever. Which there's a lot to be said where there is some for that. We were pretty tough, but it also made us desensitized. And in turn, we pass that down to our children. So there is a balance where we can't be freaking out at every scrape of the knee, but also finding that balance to give that grace and understanding. We need to find that balance with ourselves. And so this is where we move forward. It's our next actionable step. And this one speaks on just the kindness, because this is the part where understanding that receiving kindness is actually a really painful thing. You what? What did you say? Hold on, I have to go help my kid. I'll be right back. Don't mind the messy table. It doesn't get cleaned until after dinner. Okay, hurry up, kid. Yeah. Yes, wash your hands. Oh, good job, bud. Sorry, guys. Okay, so the distractions are real. It always happens. And you know what? It stopped me for a long time about doing my lives, because I was like, people don't want to see that. People, you gotta edit that out. But, the reason I choose not to edit it out, people can judge it or not. You don't edit it out because that's life. And when we understand that these things happen all the time, right? And when we start letting them hinder us, we hinder our own selves because we're creating this expectation of what somebody else is going to think of us. And when we get to just be ourselves, the good, the bad, the ugly, we start to accept ourselves. And this is us, authentically us. So whether you like it or not, it just is. And when people see that and they get to see that, oh, my life gets like that too. It gets pretty hectic. There's all kinds of chaos. Many people don't go live and don't do the things that they want to do because they're afraid of what people will say. There gets to a point in time when you wore yourself down with all the things that you say, that everyone else says, that you think everyone's going to say, that you become so numb to it, you're like, do I even really care anymore? And it's kind of good to get to that space, because then you start being, this is me. You take it or leave it. This is what it is, right? And that's when you start becoming more vulnerable. You start understanding, first with yourself, right? Being vulnerable. That's the only way you're going to understand this stuff. Learning to be vulnerable and say, it's okay for me to feel that. It's okay for me to understand. So what is my next step, right? So it doesn't have to be perfect, just intentionally. Whatever we're doing, we're making it a point moving forward, we're going to keep and understand and give ourselves grace, but we want our next step. That's not going to come out of trauma. It's not going to come out of fear, guilt, shame, reaction. It's going to come out of we've thought, we've processed, we've given ourselves space. And sometimes that even means I got to walk away so I can process. That is an accountable, actionable step. And it is okay, right? It's okay to do that. Don't ever forget that. So it's okay to just say thank you, right? And even though your whole body is screaming and your mind is doing all these things and you don't know what to do, say thank you. Even if it chokes you because you don't know how to do it, say thank you. Because once you learn to process it, there'll be a time where you get to pay that forward to somebody else. I promise you. And if you're that good-hearted that when those things happen to you, if it hits you that hard, I promise you there's not a single day that's not going to go by where you're not going to be excited to pay it forward to somebody, excited to help somebody just that's been through it like you, somebody, even if they're not like you, just help somebody. Because that's when you're that kind of person, there's nothing in this world that can change that. And there is nothing ever to be ashamed about. You should be proud of that. The world needs so much more of that everywhere. So it's okay to say, I need a minute to process this. That's my daughter, when she gets mad, and I don't know where she got that from. But it's okay, because that's what we had to do. I need a minute to process this. And sometimes she's like, the hell with this. I'm mad and I want to stay mad and that's it. And I have to sit with her and I have to let her yell back for a moment and let her get it out, because it's boiling point, right? Which means, one, I didn't notice in time. The other kid she was playing with didn't notice in time. Or she didn't speak up and advocate for herself in time, which it is a balance, right? And I try to observe and watch and see where things can change. And I'm trying to teach her to advocate for herself. And sometimes it goes well, and other times it's a absolute disaster. But we're learning to find the pathway. And when you don't have an actual pathway, it's trial and error. There's just no other way. And guess what? With you, it's the same. It's exactly the same. The only difference is you have experience. You have your patterns. You have your things that you've already been through, so you can look back at them and look at situations and go, oh, yeah, that was my best. Maybe I could have did something different there. Okay, but that's a reminder, because a lot of those things that you think about, they're stuck in your brain. And when it comes up again, immediately, oh, that was not a good, I didn't like how that ended. But immediately it comes like that, so, and it comes to your brain like that because now you have the ability to make a different choice. Small choice. Give myself space, take a breath, go for a walk, do the dishes, do something, anything that gets your mind out of that, right? Then you don't have to worry about self-sabotage. You don't have to worry about that. And it's okay to receive it slowly. It's okay to say, can we come back to this? I thank you for this, but I really want to understand it. When it took me sometimes a week before I could even get some of the kindness that happened. I didn't know how to respond. I was so appreciative, and I was so full of joy, but confusion and understand and how to process, because I knew in the moment my brain thought, oh my God, they're just waiting to kick me while I'm down again. They're waiting to do this. That's the first thing my brain would go to. But it's like, no, they just genuinely, they see you. And I was like, wait, nobody can see me. Nobody does that. They've never done that. I don't know how to take that, right? It's a whole thing. And your brain fires in 25 million different directions. And that's okay, because you're catching it and you're understanding it. And maybe you can't catch all 25 directions in that immediate. What you can catch is the first one that goes, or the second one, or the fifth one. But you pick one, and why does that happen? What does that mean? How can I change that? Right? And it's just slowing yourself down, because survival and that explosion that goes off in your brain takes time to process. It takes time to understand. It doesn't take you judging it or punishing yourself or feeling bad for it. It's doing it because it's trying to protect you. And sometimes it's okay to say to your brain, literally, thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you for trying to block this stuff from happening. But we don't need to do that anymore. I'm okay to understand it. I'm okay to feel it and process it. And what happens is, the more you talk to yourself, specifically. Talk to your brain. Are you okay? What are you doing? You know you can't see when you have a blanket on your head, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh my Lord. These are the distractions. I have to laugh sometimes, but she's got the blanket on her head. I can't. Okay, so receive it slowly. Understand. Give yourself that space. And then, you know, if you have to send an email, if you have to go and have a conversation or invite them for a coffee and say, listen, I really appreciate all the things you did. I wasn't in a space where I knew how to respond correctly because I have my own stuff I'm processing. You know, and a lot of people, if they genuinely are doing these things to help you, Miss Grace, or share with you or be kind to you, they're not doing it to hurt you. And you'll know that. You'll feel it because it feels different. Trust me, it feels different. And so then it's up to you how vulnerable you want to be. You don't have to tell them everything. But when you allow them in and say, like, I just didn't know how to process it, you know, it allows them to see who you are. It allows them to understand who you are, which is only going to make them want to help more people, right? It doesn't have to be just you they're helping, right? They understood that what they did something for you. It inspired them. It gave them space. It gave them understanding. Oh, but I didn't, because to you, it could be this big thing because you haven't had it. But to them, it's like, I didn't even know. But when you do that and you allow somebody to see what they did for you, to understand that and allow yourself, so it's big to you, but it wasn't that big to them. You know what? Or they think it wasn't that big. You also give them the space to celebrate themselves and want to do it more. And you get to show them that they are seen. Because you know many people are just givers and just give, and they're so used to no recognition, no understanding, no, like people just take, right? And the problem when you're a giver, you have to have a balance of givers and takers. Givers can't be all takers, right? There has to be the balance of people that are giving back, and it makes it different. Hi, Miss TT, how are you? Good afternoon. And learning to do that is a radical act of self-love, because when you have a whole group of takers and nobody ever giving to you, they will take until there's nothing left. And I promise you, it's not because they want to. Some maybe, but it's because that's what they were taught. That's their program. That's what they were taught through abuse, through struggle, through trauma, you know. So it's not about being resentment. It's not about being angry with them or wishing harm on them. It's you get to start seeing, oh my God, that's what they were programmed. That's what they are trained. So then you can maybe start helping them or not, right? It depends on where you're at in your journey. But if you can start helping them, you know, you can't force anybody. Don't ever try to force anybody. But giving suggestions, just like how I'm here and I do these talks and I have these conversations. If people are ready to listen and learn, then I will share all day long. I will do all of the things. But if they refuse, I'm not going to force myself onto somebody else, right? And when you learn to understand that boundary for your own self, it protects your energy. It protects how you do it. You don't get burnout. And you save it for the people that really do need it and that really do want it, right? And that matters. So you don't have to fully understand it to allow it, right? And now I'm just going to give some practical ways. These are like some little tools, and they're simple. When I say them, you're going to be like, what? Pause and breathe instead of deflecting. So when something happens and you want to push it back, like someone gives you a compliment, oh, that's absurd, or whatever, you know, you don't know how to receive it. Pause. Actually take it in. Sit for a moment. Then you're like, oh, that was really nice. Thank you. It's so simple. It's really, really the simplest things. Pause will save your life because you're not stuck in reaction mode. Notice the urge to push it away. Why do I want to push this away so bad? Right? You'll feel it. And when you feel it, it's not about rejecting yourself or being upset with yourself. It's just noticing it. Oh, why do I want to push that away? As soon as you notice it, you're immediate. It's like breathing. That why comes right after. So now what information? That's when we ask why, we're saying, What is that trying to show me? What is the information that goes with it, right? Immediately, you're not pushing it away anymore. You're like, oh, what does that? Oh, okay, yep. And you start checking in, and that is your first radical act of accountability too. So let yourself feel the emotion, even if it's tears. You don't have to be ashamed of crying. You don't have to be ashamed uh, of feeling that emotion so fully, especially when you haven't had it. You know, they talk about these things all the time when people are starving, right? And then they're given food. They're like gulping it back. They're eating it until they're so full they're like sick, right? Because they've been starving for it for so long. Well, when you're getting affection and when you're getting love and kindness and generosity, you haven't had it for so long. It's it's overwhelming, and of course you want more of it, but you're scared of it. So it's that fight, right? And then you feel guilty. You don't want them to think you're trying to take too much because you're a giver and you don't know how to receive, right? It takes practice. But when you understand it and you feel it and you allow yourself that space, you allow yourself to balance it out. You're not pushing it away saying, no, I don't want this, and you're not grasping more all the time. You slowly start to balance it out, right? And instead of feeling that feeling, you create that space for yourself that says, I'm not ready. I need time. And the people that care about you, they're always going to give you that time. So say thank you. Just like no is a full sentence, so is thank you. Say thank you. Practice saying thank you to yourself in the mirror. Give yourself compliments in the mirror. See yourself telling you, feeling you, hearing you, seeing you. Give yourself compliments. Saying thankful. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for this. I love you. You're powerful. You're strong. You're abundant. Get used to seeing yourself. Hear it, feel it, allow it. Build that strength. Build that solidarity with yourself, even if it feels absurd. I got to a point in in the abuse that I had been through that I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. And it took me 6 months. Every single day I had to show up in that mirror, whether I was angry, it didn't matter what emotion came along with it. You are worthy. You are enough. I love you, and you are worthy to be loved. And those were the only ones I could spit out. And when I tell you the choke up, the trauma that I had to go through, but it took 6 months. But I committed every single day for 6 months, and I showed up, and I couldn't give anything else. I didn't have anything else. But by the end of 6 months, I could look at myself, and I could feel it, and I could believe it, and I could show up. And I was learning to advocate for myself, and I started trusting myself when it happened. That's huge. That's a big deal. So receiving is a skill, right? Oh wait, the tools. Sorry. Sit with it for a moment instead of changing the subject. Allow it. Allow that space for it. Receiving is a skill. Just like giving, just like learning, just like understanding, just like processing, just like speaking. Receiving is a skill. And like any skill, it takes practice, right? Especially if you haven't had it. Give yourself that grace to understand. So this is kind of the full process of the understanding, right? We're going to notice what comes up. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of grace to understand it, validate it for ourselves so we don't seek outside validation, because the validation is here, right? Here, and aligning it, connecting it. And then take one small step forward, whether it's researching to understand something, whether it's sitting with yourself, whether it's saying, I need a minute to process and walking away. That is a step. It is a small but actionable step. And what happens when you start doing them one after the other, you now have a tool belt with a toolkit that you can use and reuse over and over and over every single time. So you don't have to force it. You just got to allow it, right? And then you're allowed to receive kindness, even if you're not used to it yet. And then, so I just have some of these questions, like, does kindness ever make you feel uncomfortable? If so, what is it, or why? What has happened that did that? And now, you don't have to answer me if you don't want to, but even just ask yourself that, right? See what the answers come up, because it'd probably surprise you. And then what do you notice when someone's kind to you? What's the first thing you notice, right? You can do what you notice all around, but what's the first thing that comes up in your brain? Because that first flash of whatever it is will tell you a lot more about yourself than you realize. And a lot of times we have a lot more trauma and a lot more programming and a lot more misunderstanding than even we realize. And when we ask those simple questions, and that first flash of an answer that comes is telling you something. And if you follow that and you get curious with it, you can create real integration, real healing, and real space for yourself. And that space is a godsend. That space allows you time to process and grieve and allow and listen and feel and understand. And when you have that space, you never have to worry. The bigger that space is, the less you're going to react or freak out or do the things that are going to create guilt, fear, shame. So it's a really huge deal. And then do you tend to push it away or do you actually receive it? Right? And for someone like me, my initial instinct is always to push it away. I love to give. Learning how to receive has taken me time, and that's okay. And I learn and I understand that, so I'm like, I'm now going to give myself grace. And then, oh yeah, so, sorry, I go so far in my notes, I don't want to get lost. So, this is where my clarity sessions and all that, my workshop's coming up. Hopefully it will be up by next week. It will be the free workshop that we're going to help ourselves get clear, not unclear. It's going to be the first time, so it'll be exciting. So hopefully I get a few people sign up. It's going to be about mid-April. I want to give people time to sign up. It will be on Zoom, but the idea is if understanding and getting clear is something that's right for you, if you need help with someone who is a master at it, we can maybe work together one-on-one. Otherwise, I have workshops that are coming out. I have my guided journals. I have my reflection little novel on my website. I have my teas. I have my alignment bundles, all kinds of good stuff. If you feel called, go check it out at creativelyguided.ca. I don't know, it's on my phone, so it might show up backwards. It's my little mouse pad. I've created it. I'm still constantly always moving, always working, always building, and trying to find ways that engage and work with. We can work together and build together and clarify for you what it is you want. And that is my goal. The next one for this one will be this Friday for sure. And I believe it's the light through the cracks. So if you notice the way the posts go on, if you look at my posts that show up every day, it's telling the story of the alchemy emotion. It's telling the story of all of it. And I stay 1 week behind because I want you to go and I want you to see it. I want you to process it. I want you to feel it. So that when you have those questions, Miss Grace, do you need that much tape? Oh, she's going to tape herself. I cannot. All right. This is what I got for the... Oh, no, I don't. I almost forgot. And I always do like to do this. So I'm only going to pull 3. And it's only because when I do these messages, I almost forgot. But this is actually the kind of fun of it. Because when I talk about the things that I talk about, there's always a message. Sometimes it helps me explain it a little better, or sometimes it just clarifies 1000%. It confirms what I'm saying. Even though I already know it's right, when you connect with spirit and you're giving the message, maybe there's something you miss. Maybe there's something people don't understand. And this one deck for sure is always about actionable steps. It's about... it's not about telling the tea on somebody, sorry guys, as much fun as we have with the receipts and all that stuff. It's not about that. It's about finding grounded, actionable steps. It's about checking in with yourself, celebrating yourself, understanding. And it always gives those suggestions in that beautiful way that you can do that. Miss Grace! No more tape. Give it to me. I cannot. There you go. Is that enough tape for like the whole book there? Okay, sorry guys. All right, so can I have one on the message today? Confirming, adding extra info, something to help clarify how the kindness breaks you open. Oh, you almost did it. And what we can do moving forward, because these are awakened awareness. It's like I could see the card before it came. Angel number 17. Now, if anyone knows anything about angel numbers, they saved my life. But you know what happens? You don't notice angel numbers until you start becoming self-aware. They can't speak to you until you start opening yourself up and showing up for yourself, which is pretty wild. And but what happens is you start noticing the angel numbers, there's a message for you. Angel number 17, new beginnings and showing up spiritually, connecting with source, understanding what these messages mean. 17 is a beautiful number. Look it up. That's your homework if you want to do it. So, beyond the veil, clearing distortion and illusion, awareness of what's running us subconsciously, communing with our God force, energetic sovereignty, growth outside your comfort zone, the collective awakening. Physical reality is the tip of the iceberg. The tapestry we see at surface level is just a fraction of what is going on beyond. Awakened awareness can take place when we start to look between the lines at recurring themes, aspects, and symbols that gain our intuitive attention. These are the keys to a hidden, overarching plan and a greater weaving. And a greater weaving. That was right. Sorry, my reading is horrible today. This oracle speaks to the deeper nature behind all we know with our eyes and minds. Also known as the matrix or the veil, once discovered, it is so easy to get lost in it. We are conditioned to be disoriented in our physical reality, so that anything outside of it becomes unfathomable. Thus, we seek a framework that parallels the nature of the laws of this limiting place. And yet, there's a lot more going on, and our awakening awareness would like us to stretch our consciousness to grasp it. This awareness activates our intuitive system, helps us navigate what is true, and supports us in becoming more sovereign and empowered. We can become more ensnared in the matrix when we are lost in what is running us internally. Running away and or distracting ourselves may offer short-term relief or band-aid our subtle but deep suffering. Society is coated with a layer of conformity, the idea of that's just the way things are done, roadblocks, questions when things may be out of alignment, but as we step free and awaken, we gain a more holistic approach to consciousness and come to know ourselves more deeply. We can then take things into our own hands and make changes in the world, thus regaining energy, choice, and abundance that is rightfully ours. As we wiggle into the revelations of freedom, we can't help but awaken those around us. A single glimpse of the limitless eternal and your life will never be the same again. When we directly experience the transient yet profound moment of existence, we can allow the constructs we have spent our lives believing to drop away. Our knowledge of the eternal doesn't leave us. Although we may forget it, as we return to our humanness, we may use reasoning to write it off. Or we may create whole religions around it in an effort to grasp and recreate it. When we look into the eyes of God, our consciousness raises, so we can fathom the unfathomable. Miss Grace, you got to take that outside. Please and thank you. Okay, put it back there. This expansive experience can never be boxed into the words or intellect, but artists, poets, and musicians may be able to share, in a small way, the essence that helps us remember ourselves back into our true state. Miss Grace, please, that's not nice right now what you're doing. Okay, but there's a boundary, and you're not following it, and that's not very nice. So you have to be respectful, or you have to go outside and play until it's done. Those are the two boundaries. You can choose, but you have to pick one. Okay, sorry. This expansive experience can never be boxed into words or intellect, but artists, poets, and musicians may be able to share, in a small way, the essence that helps us remember ourselves back into our true state. The portals into this experience are vast in number and form. For me, awakened awareness has come through deep meditation, ecstatic dance, and journeying with my Dharma. In essence, connecting with this element is about raising our vibration, getting out of our heads, and allowing our spirit to lead the way. When we walk behind the veil, we discover our true path. Our reason for being here is revealed in symbolic jigsaw puzzle pieces and synchronicities. The mysteries unweave, and the paradoxes speak to a different part of us. Our affirmations are potent, our prayers are heard, and the medicine of life lessons, however strong and uncomfortable, is full of powerful growth. This is one of the elemental cards because without moment-to-moment awakened awareness, magic, healing, and affirmation cannot be deep or real way enough to actualize. This, not just imagining God, but seeing, knowing, and communing with the divine spark inside each of us. This card is a reminder to wake up. There are many levels and stages of awakening. There is no on-off switch. Keep learning and putting yourself into situations where you can grow. Sometimes we go back to sleep, so stay aligned with your inner guidance and find ways to remember to wake up. Do what you love to keep your vibe high. This is not about instant pleasure, but the joy that is substantial and sustainable. Eat healthily, keep your body active, and have life goals, but with enough space to hear the answers to your prayers. When our energy systems become blocked or need a cleanse, we can become drowsy to our vital nature. Energy clearing can help you recenter. Shadow work may also be needed if certain things are running your mind in a disempowering and distorted way. Find your unique way to connect with the divine inside you, not as an external seeking it, but as a receptive allowing. Be inspired to see the questions at hand with a different perspective. Look between the lines for a deeper interpretation. It's not always what we initially see. And when we wake up and we ask the whys and we get curious and we're observing, right? When we remember and we step outside ourselves for a moment and we look as if we're witnessing something, as if we're taking it all in. We're watching something else happen. Many times you can watch an incident and literally see for yourself, man, if they had made a different decision here, any of those places, it would have been a different outcome. Like, why didn't they, like, do you ever have that go on in your head? I'm pretty sure many of us do. But when you start understanding that, you're seeing the pattern, you're understanding, and you're starting to notice for yourself. The idea is when you step back and you observe, you're peeking behind the veil. You're not letting the patterns conform you. You're not letting the programming take over you, and you're relearning and understanding that there are many different ways that this could all go differently than the initial struggle before. And that's what we want to get rid of. That's what we really want to start noticing. If I made a different choice anywhere along the way, this big chaos, craziness doesn't happen. Then I don't fall into that cycle of guilt, fear, shame, resentment, any of those things. And that's what we're trying to do. These tools will stop you at any stage of the game. And the more you use them, the earlier of the stage you start stopping yourself. And then we have Miss Grace. Why are you saying bad kitty? That's not nice.
Mom said you love your kitty.
I know you love your kitty, but you have to treat her like you love her. We don't hit things that we love. And you know that. I think you should say sorry nicely.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm okay. All right. Take a breath. You okay? Okay. So just be gentle. So 1212. When I tell you this card is like, it is my cornerstone, my mantra, my pretty much everything. Persistence. You're not going to be perfect at it right away. We're not here to judge how you did it or what stage of the game you stopped yourself. Just Keep showing up. Do it messy. Do it scared. Doesn't matter. Enthusiasm, gratitude, fulfillment, transformation, and new experiences. A wonderful opportunity aligned with your life's purpose is approaching. When it arises, take immediate action to embrace it. Additionally, a loving partnership or an epic romance may be on the horizon. Maintain your persistence and welcome the positive transformations coming your way. You start seeing this number all over the place. First of all, yes, you're going to know that there's some things that you could align with that will help you. But second, first, most importantly, get present. You see it? If you remember nothing else, get present. How am I feeling? What am I feeling in my body? What was I thinking at the time when I saw this? What was playing on the TV? What was going on outside my window? What was going on? What was happening? Was I listening to something on the radio? Start asking questions, because not usually, like always, when these numbers start popping up, and you may not have noticed them before, maybe you did notice them a couple times, but they didn't make sense. Now you'll start seeing them. And when they start seeing, that's the first thing I want you to do. Get present. Do a body scan. Check in on yourself. Understand what it is, because there's an idea. There's something there that is going to lead you to your answers, which is always going to be your true north. Okay, which will be your purpose, which will be the things that you're meant to learn and do and understand and share. And it's not going to be all the answers, but if you're brave enough to follow that intuitive nudge, I promise you, it's going to lead you to your next opportunity, to your next idea, to your next passion, to your next thing that you really want to do. It's just about being open to it. And of course, because I love affirmations, no matter what in this world, they saved my life. Look, it popped right out. Instead of taking on the fear of others, I reflect love. People project their fear. They stop you. It was just 1:51:51 on the clock when I pulled this. When we start to understand that transformation, that new beginnings, with every little bit of transformation is a new beginning. And every time we blink our eyes, we have the ability to make a different choice. Okay, when we let fear stop us, it can hold us back for lifetimes. We don't want to do that anymore. We understand we love ourselves, we love others, and to be our best self for others, we have to understand ourselves to the core, right? That's how we can be our most authentic. So when we're learning, did it cut out? Sorry, guys. When you learn to give yourself grace, when you learn to affirm your greatness, to show up, even if I didn't do it perfectly, I'm here, I showed up, I figured it out. I have lots more to learn, but it's okay, I'm doing it. Start celebrating those things, because you would be surprised how quickly things change when you look at it that way, when you give yourself space. When you give yourself space, you don't have to ever, ever, ever go back to the sabotage, the guilt, the fear, the shame, all those things that will keep you low, will keep you small, and will keep you not feeling worthy when you absolutely are. So when we learn to take that fear and override it, that was last week's conversation, but when we learn to reflect that back with love, we don't have to fear people being kind. We don't have to fear what we're going to say, because we understand we're saying it from the heart. We're not saying it from the filter of fear or what we're worried or expectation. We've checked in with ourselves. We understand how we feel, and then we know we're responding. We're not reacting. And when you get to that space, you become pretty amazing, and you become pretty proud of yourself. And every single time you notice it, okay, even if you notice it afterwards, okay, if you didn't notice it in the exact moment, but you walk away and things are happening, and it pops into your brain and it goes, hey, I was really calm there, and I did really well, and I didn't freak out. Celebrate it. Good for you. I'm really proud of you. Do a little happy dance. Do what it takes to recognize it. Even if it wasn't immediately, you didn't recognize it, but you did something different. The idea is you're reverse engineering it. Okay, you're understanding this, you don't want this, right? We're not going to focus on what we don't want. We're going to focus on all the million different opportunities that we're going to make sure this doesn't happen, right? And we're going to celebrate each and every one of them. whether it's kindness, whether it's fear, whether it's anger. They all have something to teach you, all something to understand. And when you understand the simple tools that I'm giving you, the little ideas, um, they're just basic tools to add to your belt. You can never have enough. So when you have something and you find it and it's repeatable, celebrate it. Go back to it. Say, oh, that one worked. Put it in your tool belt. I talk about the tool belt all the time because when you're maneuvering life, okay, and you got to climb a mountain and do this, you can't have a backpack and a burden and all these other things on you. You can't. It'll weigh you down. You'll never make it. But you can have a tool belt so you can hook into the mountain, keep it small, keep it light, keep it easy. It makes it less tiring, it gives you more space, and it allows you more energy to focus on the goodness, all the things you want to create, all the things you want to share, all those lovely people you want to teach, connect with, collaborate with. It allows space for that. So give yourself that space and celebrate it each time you do. Because the more you do, the more you're going to do it. And the more compassion you're going to give other people. Because you start to see all of the cycles and you see the patterns. And when you recognize the patterns, you can stop them. You can help others stop them. And you don't have to tell them or force them. You lead by example. And then they see you doing it and they're like, oh, that worked for them. Why couldn't that work for me? Again, curiosity. We're not angry or upset. We're curious. And when we're curious, we're always winning. We're always learning. And wisdom, knowledge is power. And it helps you. The most important thing you could ever have is the wisdom and awareness for your own self. Because when you know yourself better than anybody, nobody can shake you. You become so unshakable that there's nothing in this world that's going to stop you. You become confident, you become brave, you become empowered, and you trust yourself. And that trust was a hard-won battle, I promise you. I know, I've been there. But if you keep showing up and you keep doing it, that trust, when it's hard-won like that, you're never going to forget it. And you're never going to lose it again. Take that time for you. Understand what it is. Put those tools in your belt and celebrate you every step of the way. These gnats, I can't. That's the thing I hate about spring. It's okay though. All my plants are starting to grow. We're gonna put them outside, and we're gonna go in the garden one more time today, and play in the mud. I was sore for 2 days, so I'm done with that. Today is the last day, and then I'm gonna have to get back to exercising. Why are you growling at me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't talk to you that way.
Well, you love me.
I do love you, but I don't talk.
No, you don't.
Oh, I don't? Okay, you make your decision. Either way, I still love you.
You do love me.
I do. I really do love you, yes. All right, that's what I got, guys. I'm sorry, all the distraction. No, I'm not sorry. That is my life. It is what it is. I appreciate all that showed up, whether you stayed for a few minutes or you stayed from beginning to end. I hope that through this you got just a little message, something that helped empower you, a little tool, a suggestion, a different way of thinking. A small little process, right? It doesn't have to be the whole path. But if there's one little step that helps you do something differently, I'm winning. And so are you. Together we win, together we grow, and we meet and align and collaborate with all these amazing people. When you learn every single interaction, there's a lesson. There's something that is trying to teach you, and you can take it in as such. You start to learn to observe instead of react. You start to learn to check in with yourself before responding. And that's where that space becomes, it's a gift. It is a gift, that place of peace. And once you find it and you can extend it out when you're inspired, you extend it out and extend it out, you know what happens? The world can't shake you. You can't even shake you anymore. But in the best possible way. And that's what I really do hope that I help people find. So, oh yeah, I have to do all of the stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. See, I hate doing this part. Also, go to, if you want to check it out, go to my website, creativelyguided.ca. That's where I have my teas, my alignment bundles, my guided journals, all that good stuff. Also, I have my new workshop coming up. I'm creating the landing page for it today. It will be up on my website by tomorrow. And keep your eye out for the workshop that's coming. So it's about getting clear. Yeah, what's our next clear? Let me help you clear your next step, right? What is it? How do we get there? Help you process it, understand. That's what this is gonna. At the end of the workshop, you'll walk away with one to three solid suggestions, ideas, and next steps. But you're gonna decide on one and just take a step. That's all you gotta do. So keep your eye out for that. It will be up by the end of this week. Um, the links and all that good stuff, all the information. I appreciate y'all for showing up. I love you. I hope this helps. I will have one more live kind of talking about, it'll probably be tomorrow for the rest of the week. Actionable steps. How can we show up? It'll just be an energy check-in because it's been a while. And I want to make sure everyone's doing okay. And then April, guided action steps for the signs will be up the last week, probably the 29th, 30th, 31st, that to the first week of April. And every Friday still until episode 10. This was episode 4. Yeah, episode 10 of the Alchemy of Motion. It goes based just on the fire and flow, and it's aligned as such. So keep your eye out. It's always going to be here. The live replays, now that I've learned clips, and the shorter ones, we'll take the important learning parts and break out all of the talking and the side stuff, and hopefully just get a couple of the messages out so it's a little easier to digest. But for those of you that show up to my lives and even listening in the background, engaging, supporting, putting your faith in me, I truly love and I appreciate you more than you know. And we're growing slowly but surely. The more we grow, the more we're empowered. The more empowered, the more we grow. That's a cycle that I'm okay being in, right? We're not doing guilt, fear, shame. We're doing grow, learn, grow, learn. Like, what? Grow, learn, share. Grow, learn, share. That's an always winning cycle that I would love to be on, right? We're there. We're doing it. Let's do it together. 2:02 on the clock. I love it. Okay, guys, thank you for showing up. I got to feed this kiddo or she's going to get crazy. Keep your eye out for clips and stuff. And tomorrow I will have the live on the energy check-in. Some actionable steps. Just some lighthearted, answer the questions, all that stuff. I love you guys and have a good day.
Okay, don't bring the rumors. I'm trying to. Okay.
What?